If you're looking to beef up your IT skills, consider joining itpro.tv, my favorite online training provider. They have thousands of hours of content for everything IT related. Use the coupon code ITCQ30 and you can save 30% off your premium membership. Please check out the link in the description below. If you have questions about getting into IT, consider joining our Discord server. We have hundreds of people there just like you who are starting their careers in IT, and they can help answer any questions that you may have, and I'll be there to help answer questions as well. Links in the description below. I can't wait to see you there. If you're looking for a step-by-step training guide on how you can get started in IT, check out our first official training course at www.itcq.tv. This step-by-step course will not only show you the skills and knowledge that's needed to get an entry-level IT job, but it'll also show you how you can gain an advantage. Check out the link in the description of this live stream, and thank you so much for your support. Yo, what's going on YouTube? How you guys doing today? I hope you're doing wonderful, because I know I am, and I know my special guest, he's always doing wonderful. He's a crazy guy. I do want to apologize because last week my power went out when we were doing this, and we were jamming, and we had like the second stream that we started, and then I accidentally deleted it. Totally my screw up there. So we're going to kind of restart what we had talked about last week and getting into IT sales. So let me, first of all, bring on this special guest, Mr. Joshua Davis. How you doing, sir? Not good, because your audio's not working. Hold up.
Okay. I'll keep talking, though.
Now it's working. I fixed it.
Cool. Yay! What's up, Zach?
What's
Good
up?
to see you, man. I'm glad your power's working.
For now, my power's working, which is great.
It's funny. I didn't realize the internet was so dependent upon power.
I know, right?
So,
Who would have thought? Who would have thought that? My goodness.
all right. So, as you and I were discussing last week, we're talking about sales, right? And getting into IT sales and what that means. So yeah, I guess
what does that mean to you? Like, what does IT sales mean to you, first of all? Because you're the salesman. You're the professional.
Let me rehash. So me, the fact that I'm talking to you guys about sales is laughable right now, because when I started, I would say I started in software, started in IT, went in software development. The thought of not only being a manager, but the thought of selling something was atrocious. I felt that salespeople were all liars. Why in the world would I want to become a salesperson? They're all about the money. Well, what I realized, ultimately, we're all salespeople, especially if you're in IT. If you're in IT, you're there to help others, and you're trying to convince others to pay attention, not have a selfish gain, but have the means of trying to solve a problem. So in sales, it's problem solving. So ultimately, what I do in my role, I'm a partner guy. I'm trying to find a problem that a customer or a partner has, and I'm trying to bring a solution to them. Specifically, in my case, it's IT, it's security related problem solving. So yeah, I mean, you could say it's marketing, but ultimately, sales is about connecting a problem with a solution. That's it.
So were you kind of like hinting at the fact that there's like a difference between salespeople ever so slightly?
Just a little bit.
There's some like there's a lot of scumbag sales people out there.
Yeah, absolutely. But I can say right now, in this day and age, to be a scumbag is hard for a long period of time. If you want to do a short sell and lie, you can do that, but ultimately your reputation and the internet's going to give you away. Because that's one thing that's happening now with consumers. They're very smart. They have the ability to go learn quickly about any kind of tech. So if I'm going to go to somebody and sell a tech that I don't believe in, good luck. I might get one sell, but the following one is ultimately not going to work. So what's cool is, in the role that I play, I'm a teammate. I become a kind of a consultant, kind of a sales guy, but also ultimately in the role that I play, I'm selling alongside a partner. So there's various sales roles that we'll go into here in just a few minutes. But yeah, I mean, selling's not bad. It's necessary, and all of us participate.
And I think something that we talked about and last week was, there's more to just sales. There's more to sales than selling, right? It's like you're not there necessarily. You are there to make the sale, but at like the end of the day, like if you're a good salesman, like you're there to fill a need for somebody. So like you kind of step into something because you're trying to help fill a need. Like you're not just trying to make a sale. You're trying to actually provide a product or service from your offering that's going to help somebody. And that I think makes a big difference in the type of salespeople that you're working with, right? Like I can't tell you the amount of times I work with salespeople that all they care about is making money, right?
Me too. But let's go to the slide deck. You got the slide up now. Okay.
Pull the slide up. Hold up.
All right. So part of what I was mentioning to Zach earlier is, to me, it's essential. All businesses, all capabilities require some person selling it. Even if you're your own company, we'll say Zach here. Zach is selling the story, the image, the idea around who he is, who IT Career Question is. So he's actually selling to some extent right now. And that's a form of marketing. Marketing actually encompasses the concept of selling. Some words on the left-hand side there, if you got the slides up: lead, prospect, customer, pipeline, close. Those are commonly used in sales lingo, but ultimately, those are used to measure behavior to drive motivation. Because as a salesperson, you need to be focused on finding those prospects, those individuals that have the need, and seeing if you can turn them to a customer. Because ultimately, if that person doesn't need what I'm selling, why am I wasting mine and their time? Yeah. Right. So it's not about closing the deal. It's about finding the right folks at the right problem. Because what's cool is you might realize the offering that I'm trying to sell is not what the market needs. And very quickly, if you ain't closing deals, you're not listening to the market. So let's talk about that real quick. Listening.
Yeah. Listening. I have a question for you, but.
Oh, lay it on me.
Well, no, just go ahead. Let me write this down. I'm going to write it down.
Okay, I'm practicing listening right now, but even though I talk a lot, Zach talks a lot.
Well, no, because you were about to start saying something. I don't want to.
Well, no, it's good. Like listening is a crucial aspect to sell. Some buddies of mine, mentors, said in the past, like pretty much listen 80% of the time, talk 20. Ultimately, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
No, it's good. Here. It's good. This is the dialogue. No, you. So, but really, from a sales perspective, it's can I help? And it's not that I come assuming that my tech is going to solve your problem. I have a reason to believe that what I'm working with can, but ultimately I need to listen to your needs. Because that's one thing I did learn too. If you can find out what keeps a person up at night, what stresses them out, and you can solve that problem, they will pay you money.
That's true. So here's where I was kind of thinking, because as you're talking, I think you could tell like you're more into this than just like making the money, than making the sale. Like you're talking about building connections and filling a void for somebody or a business. But so like, what about when like you're first starting out in sales? Because like you obviously have years of experience doing this, so you've probably transitioned into what you are now, right? Like you've developed into this almighty salesperson that you are today. But like when you're first starting out, like I feel like there's this image, and this is like the image that I have in my mind, and you kind of like denounced the whole like scumbag thing, but I feel like when you're first starting out, many of the salesmen probably feel like a scumbag. Like,
well,
you're doing like a lot of cold calling and crap like that, right?
Sure. I mean, maybe in cold calling, maybe, but like I said, my advice is if you don't believe in what you're selling, like you don't believe in the technology, the company, you don't believe in an aspect of it, why would you put your name, or why would you associate your name with it? And if you do believe in it, you do believe what they're doing, I think the concept of being a scumbag could probably go away pretty quickly. I mean, there's a lot of amazing products and services out there that people build. I mean, that's the economy. That's what we're all doing.
Go ahead. I mean, sorry, I keep doing this to you. I apologize. You talk about believing in what you're selling. Yeah. Like, how important is that? Because for some people out there, like they just want a job and they just want to start working. And then when you talk about sales, like there's a lot of money that can be made in sales. So I mean, well, anybody
like
can
it.
go out and say, I'm going to go sell Cisco stuff because I know there's a lot of money in Cisco stuff. I don't really care what Cisco's doing. I don't necessarily believe in what they're doing, but I'm going to go sell Cisco stuff because I know I can make a lot of money doing it.
Okay, so let's talk about people coming to your site. People come to your YouTube channel. They're interested in IT. Now, okay, granted, there's folks that are interested in IT for money. All of us want to get paid. We need to make some cash to live. But I would argue that most individuals that are interested in IT are probably interested in problem solving, and that's why they want to get into IT. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so
for sure.
IT's complex, diverse, massive, touches every aspect of society. There's a sales component to it, to where all of this wonderful tech that you and I use today requires someone else identifying that this other organization had the need. And so having the interest, and when I say believe in it, I mean understanding, because to be authentic in selling, it's knowing what you're selling. Like I know plenty of folks that go from selling beer to selling IT solutions. And her experience, I mean, she taught me, like, she believed in what she sold. She believed in the company. She believed in the value it could bring. So,
Right. So there's so many just questions, I just love this because like, who's IT sales for then, right? Like, obviously, like a lot of the people who are watching my channel, they want to work in IT.
okay.
They're more on the technical side of things, but I mean, I've always thought, just me being me, right? Who's like a people person. I like talking with people. I like that communication aspect of it. I love helping people. I always thought that I would be a good salesman just because I know that I can build relationships with people.
See, I didn't know that about me. So what's funny about me, my journey was I wanted to be a nerd writing code, sitting in a corner by myself because I thought software is so freaking awesome. And then when my first job, I remember taking it. It was an internship. It was an IT gig. And I was like, well, dang it. Okay, fine. I'll do IT. But I did not realize IT opened up my eyes to how much I like people. And those of you on the line here that actually love to solve problems, and that addiction of when you're doing the IT problem solving and people come to you and they say, thank you. You helped me. I never realized that in my job today, where I'm at now selling, I get the same feeling. Now, I would argue the pace is not as fast. The transition, it takes time. I mean, those of you that want to get in IT, I guess what Zach and I are trying to say is there's multiple ways to get in IT. We're just suggesting considering IT sales as a path of getting in, because you could go a different path. You could go from sales to technical, or like I did, which is technical to sales.
Yeah. That's like the best thing about IT. Like,
yeah,
that's like the thing. And maybe I'm just not educated enough to understand other industries and what other industries offer. But like the coolest thing about working in IT is that you have limitless possibilities.
Yeah.
Or unlimited possibilities. Really, like you could start off in one area of IT and go right into something that's, I mean, while it's still considered IT, it's completely different. Like you could become a network engineer and then be like, well, I've been learning automation and scripting, and now I want to be a programmer, right? Like you can do that. Like that's the coolest thing about this field. And that's why when I said, like, I know that I'm the type of person who likes to help people, who likes to talk with people, build relationships. I didn't develop that until I worked in IT.
Yeah, me neither. Right.
20 years ago, I never wanted to talk to people. Like I was very antisocial. Like I couldn't interact with people. I had no idea what to say to anybody. I was so socially awkward. It was cringe. Like it was just completely cringeworthy.
I would argue that I still am that socially awkward, but like I'm in my 40s now, and I care less. And what I can say about my authenticity in my selling is when I'm with another individual, like in a relationship, trying to see if we can solve each other's problems, I really care, and I'm not lying. If I don't believe in what I'm doing, I'll tell you. It's just, I don't know. It's never what I thought it was going to be. So, okay, let's go in a little more deep on the different types of sales roles.
All right.
So if you got the slide deck, right-hand side, there's some concepts of inside sales and pre-sales. And I kind of grouped them together because they're really kind of two types of personalities. Your cold callers, and a lot of cases are going to be your inside sales type. So those of you that pretty good at hunkering down, doing analyst work, trying to find folks that have the needs. Inside sales are the ones that generate those opportunities, what we call leads. It's like they actually get a salesperson on the phone to have a conversation. Pre-sales, though, I would argue, almost anyone in this community here who's interested in IT could play a role in that, which is really, it's being the IT, the engineer, the person that knows the tech enough to validate what the salesperson's saying or direct the salesperson. In a lot of cases, you'll see a combination of a classic salesperson with a pre-sales engineer who everyone trusts. And I would say you even see more and more nowadays a combination of both technically savvy salesperson in one package. But yeah, that's one transition a lot of you guys here can do where you're not 100% sales, you're selling along with somebody else, which is ultimately what we're all doing in IT. We're solving a problem, listening, connecting it to a solution.
So with this pre-sales, you brought up an interesting point, because I think many people might assume that you need to have all the tech skills to be in tech sales, which
no, right. Absolutely not.
But if you do,
oh yeah,
how much more of an advantage do you have?
Exactly.
Would you say you have more of an advantage having those tech skills, knowing the technical knowledge behind whatever you're selling?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the reason why that is, like, if you're the salesperson who's like that all-in-one who can do the pre-sales, well, you don't need to bring in the second person to help answer those technical questions. You're like that one-stop shop where you can do the sales and you can answer the technical questions. That makes you so extremely valuable. Like,
well, exactly.
I can't tell you how many times I've been in a meeting with a salesperson and you ask them a technical question and it's, oh, I'm going to have to get with my system engineer and find out.
That's right.
It's like, no, like, you're here to help us like figure this out. You're supposed to know these answers.
Well, exactly.
It's so frustrating when they don't.
But what's cool is you're looking to that salesperson as your teammate to help you solve the problem.
And I mean, they come back and they find out the answer most of the time, but it's nice when there's a pre-sales person there with you. And just to kind of reiterate, that pre-sales person, you might see it like listed as like pre-sales engineer.
Yeah.
They have some of the sales skills, like some of the like sales ability, but they mostly are relied on for their technical aptitude in that product that you're trying to sell.
Exactly. And I got a buddy, and I think, you know him, Brian. We won't mention his last name, but Brian was an educator, educating history, who went into some training sales roles, getting into pre-sales, where he's an IT pre-sales guy now, building the training to help educate the sales staff on the offerings that he's helping to sell. I mean, this guy went from high school education to sales engineer without getting a degree, without probably getting a certificate. It's just, yeah. So you folks that love people, love tech, I'd say IT admin, definitely a route, but also sales or both. You can mix it all around. That's what's cool too, is you don't have to get stuck.
Right. That's the best thing about IT, man.
Yeah.
The best thing. Hey, I have to give a quick shout out to Brandon B in the chat for becoming a help desk member. Thank you, Brandon B. Appreciate it, bro.
Cool business. All right. So jumping down here on the slides, B2B, B2C, that's just business to business, B2C. My role is B2B. I'm the one trying to help businesses sell to customers that have problems. And I'm a security guy. I have my CISSP, I have my CEH. I don't have them anymore because I don't really need them. Would I say that I was ever really a hacker? No, but I knew the language. And that's something else too, is when you know the language, you become totally a script kiddie. Totally. Back in the day, those of you that love a back orifice, if you remember what that is, oh yeah. Fun times, totally illegal now. Don't do that. But what's neat is that history, that legitimacy that I had as a software guy just helps me resonate and connect. And anyway, I love it. I get excited. You guys tell I'm excited. I love security because every one of us on the planet who decides to play in the internet and buy something, anywhere has cyber impacting our lives. And for the next, at least next 20 years, unless we go third world across the globe, we're going to have problems in cyber. And so what's cool is got smart people solving really hard problems, find partners and customers that have really hard needs, and connecting the dot. There's my job. I mean, that's fun. And
Brandon B says that script kiddie is so derogative now.
Ooh, okay. Apologize.
Why? No way.
Well, nowadays we're
even like the Security Plus talks about script kiddies. Like, There's nothing wrong here. I will tell you firsthand. Like, there's nothing wrong with being a script kiddie as long as you don't continue to be a script kiddie.
Well, that's right.
Like,
You don't get stuck.
When you first start out, you're a script kiddie. Like, it's
Absolutely.
fine, but
Yeah.
don't stay in that stigma of being a script kiddie. Like, no, if you're gonna be a script kiddie, you're gonna obviously you're downloading other people's scripts and you're running them or whatever. You're downloading other people's programs and things like that, running them. For the love of God, figure out what the hell is going on.
Well, that's right. And evolve. Well, I think that's what we're saying here, too, in part of the IT is evolve. Don't get stuck. Because that's one thing I can tell you that I have worked with people in the past where they got stuck in a language, stuck in a domain. That is a risk you can do in IT or software is you can get stuck in what was working for you then. But recognize this world moves fast. Software moves fast.
If you're not evolving, like...
And if you didn't start off as a script kiddie, I don't know if you're legit. I mean, copying and pasting somebody else's stuff is the way you roll. All right, push it on further. All right, the 3 layers there: business development, consultative selling, and e-commerce. I mean, obviously, e-commerce is selling online. Business development is a lot of what I do as well, which is getting the conversation started, identifying the opportunity, growing relationships. Again, the thing that I do caution you around sales, it takes time. So unlike IT administration, a lot of the problems you're doing when you first start off is fast. With IT sales, it's going to take time. I mean, you get started, your first few sales happen in the first couple of days, but these sales cycles take time. So consultative selling, the one in the middle, that's kind of what I've been talking about at a high level. It's I'm going in, maybe I have a certain hammer, I have a certain tech, but I recognize this organization has the need. Yeah, maybe my product is going to solve the problem, but there's probably other consultative aspects of that, how to use it, how to configure it, that's going to go into part of the sell. And really, I'm a consultant. And if you look at that way, that's really what you're doing in a lot of IT sales roles is consulting on, is this solution going to solve your problem? So I started pre-sales and consultative sales for your community here because those are the roles that I imagine you guys playing naturally and transitioning into.
Yeah.
All right, at the bottom, we'll kind of wrap up this slide. Direct sales versus indirect. Direct is when I go, Zach, do you want to buy my stuff? And Zach says yes or no. Indirect is when I sell through another channel. Just about every freaking thing that you buy today is probably purchased indirectly. Walmart did not make anything that you guys buy. Amazon certainly didn't make anything you guys buy. And so somebody else helped distribute it, connect it, but helped found you and connect with that.
I just want to give an example of indirect sales, a company that most people have probably heard of. If you've never heard of them because you haven't worked in IT yet, you will definitely hear of these guys, and they're called CDW.
Yeah.
They're one of the largest, I think, when it comes to tech-related indirect sales.
That's right. Especially hardware, right? Especially in software.
Yeah.
I mean, like most consumers, I mean, we do buy from Apple and Microsoft, but that's kind of a newer thing. The e-commerce marketplace where the customer goes directly to the manufacturer, that's more of a new paradigm. Most of the time you have somebody else because you need someone smart to help actually do the integration. All right, so if you want to go to the next slide, I want to just jump into.
I gotta fix my camera here real quick.
Fix is cool. I'm gonna pretend that I'm not moving.
Oh no, you could keep talking. I'm just gonna fix my stuff.
Okay, so there's a slide here. Basically, always be closing. I want to kind of discuss that. When I first got into sales, I was kind of scared the idea of having a quota, the idea of being yelled at for not closing your deals, and then I would be encouraged to lie to help close my deals. What I realized is, and a lot of my mentors were, you're in it for the long game. And like I said, if I don't believe in what I'm selling, why am I selling it? Go find another job. But if I do believe in it, and I do the patterns of behavior that lead to succeeding at solving the problems for the end customer, I'm going to be closing deals. Or if I'm not, my tech's the wrong solution for the market, or I'm just not doing the right things to get there. So this concept of always be closing, intimidated, 1980s sales. You still have folks selling that way, but again, the internet's made of all of us super powerful. So if I don't believe in what you're telling me, I'm not going to buy it for you. And that's something else I want to say, and this is a soapbox, so I'm going to get into it real deep. Trust. I will not buy something from you if I don't trust you. Even if I think it's the most amazing thing in the world, if I don't like you and I don't trust you, I'm not buying from you. It doesn't matter how good it is. So that's what I've realized in my short stint here in this role. It's the same with software. When I'm writing code, if the team doesn't trust my development skills, doesn't like me, probably not going to participate well. And as an IT admin, as Zach, you and I talked this before, if you're an IT admin who loves to tell people no, people don't like you. Mm-mm. No, it's problem solving, and that's really what it is. So yeah, hopefully
what if
you guys
like to be that person that tells everybody no. I had fun doing that for a while.
I mean, I could see that your ego needs that scratching a bit.
No, you can't do that. Oh, you want to access that file? No.
Nope. Yeah, I mean, you got a short life because eventually I find a way around you, right? I find a way around you, and eventually you move on. Yeah. So
real quick, hold on. I need to give a shout out to Daniel James in the chat for giving us a super chat. Thank you very much, Daniel James. They say, would love IT sales to start. When I own my gyms, the sales is what I like the most. And NIBB high football rules. Who is NIBB?
I don't know, but football rules makes you think of that wonderful Adam Sandler bit. You don't want to, yeah.
Foosball.
Right, so did you move on past the
ABC? Yeah. What is IT sales?
Okay, so just jumping in here. Okay, we had a conversation a couple weeks ago for Zach's internet and power decided to fail. That was talking about what is an IT, like what is IT, and being successful in IT. You're a problem solver. You have a career. You're a technology expert, and you're always learning. I would argue that's IT sales. It's a little bit different. You might not be as a deep dive. Now, if you're a pre-sales, yeah, you're probably going to be deep dive. Like if you're helping someone sell cloud solutions, you're going to know and probably go do implementation. And in some cases in pre-sales, you might go into delivery and support. So you're going to be doing all these in just different ways. Now, at a high level, what I was trying to nail down here was some wonderful childhood just happiness. And if you guys know what that is, please post it in the comment because NES is where I was born, conceived, and all that. So basically, you got the manufacturer on the left-hand side says, hey, salesperson, I'm making this stuff. Can you help me find customers that have the problem? Customer on the far right-hand side says, yo, what are you selling? What problems you got? Okay, cool. Sales guys like kick, bam. Here's what I have. Do you want to buy it? That's most of what we think, but that's not a majority how it works. All right, next slide if you don't mind, bro.
Got it.
All right, boom, partner. That is what I'm doing. So my manufacturer, we make some awesome security solutions, some products. I would say a lot of it's mainly services. Then I'm out there looking and trying to find partners. I'm like, hey, partners, is there a partner here that really wants to provide security offerings, but they don't have the skill sets? Because that's something else cool about security. Security demands scale because there's not enough talent on the globe. As all you guys here on this channel know, I mean, getting the certs, getting geared up, finding those, it's hard to get that. So what's cool is I got a whole bunch of elite folks on my team that I can go to partners and say, let us be your SOC. Let us be your security provider partner. Let's go sell together. So that's mainly what I do. All right, last one. This guy right here.
Butte Ween said Double Dragon. So just got to give a shout out.
Butte, thank you. You made my day. I'm just going to pause for Double Dragon for just a second.
Was there another slide? Because I'm at this. This is the last one.
Yeah, with the coin, right?
Yeah. That's one.
Yeah, that's my slide. Okay. That's my last slide. This is it, and then we go chat for a little more. Okay, so distribution. This is where it's confusing. Distribution is kind of like CDW. That's kind of what Zach mentioned earlier, where you have plenty of folks that are partners that are probably acquiring technology from CDW that probably Cisco manufactured, and someone that sells tied to the manufacturer like Cisco is working with the distribution to help get access to, because ultimately that's what's hard. There's no way in the world that Cisco could handle millions upon millions of individual customers. So this is all about scale. And what's cool is in these roles, you just evolve. And for me, playing in distribution, there's some problem solving we're trying to do now where I can actually impact a distribution channel that's got 10,000 partners. So that's 10,000 partners. And they have like 1,000 customers each. I now have the ability to scale, but I gotta have trust. I gotta have clarity. And that's what's cool about sales too, is it forces you to speak clear and get to the point. So anyway, I put the coin there because that's another happiness. And this is how I'm making my money now, which is selling and connecting to people. And I believe in what I'm selling.
Yeah,
And part of the reason I'm going to share with you guys here, because I feel like I'm like you guys. I loved IT and I wanted to get into it, but I was scared. I mean, again, I was so against the idea of being a manager, which we can talk about maybe one other day, but being in sales, I was like, yeah, I'm not selling my soul. Well, no, I didn't sell my soul.
I want to share a little story here real quick.
Do it.
So it's when I very first met you, and you were working for this company.
And I was wearing a sports coat, which I hate.
Yeah, you were. I think you were wearing a sports coat.
Hate it. But go ahead.
But I had come over to the booth, and I was interested because the banner or whatever intrigued me.
Yeah, I was the booth script kiddie is what I was. But go ahead.
You're a booth babe. So anyway, like I was intrigued, and I stopped and I talked to whoever it was, whatever. Anyway. And they kind of talked to me about it. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And I was like, and I told that person, I was like, well, here's what I'm doing. And they're like, well, you should talk to Josh Davis.
So what's funny is this guy comes up to me with your business card and he's like, do you know who this guy is? I'm like, I have no friggin' clue. He's a YouTuber. He's an influencer. I'm like, well, that's cool. Let's go talk to him.
Right. And then you start like, dude, as soon as you started talking to me, I was like, I like this guy. I like this guy. And then I was like, not only do I like this guy, now I actually really like whatever it is that you're selling. Okay, that's how it went. Like, that's literally how it went. Because at first I was like, well, this is really cool. I could see a use for this. And then you came by and I was like, oh, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Because the way that you talked about it and the way that you just talked as a person, like, I was like, yep. I like this guy. I can trust him.
Okay, so look at our relationship. So what's funny is mine and your relationship started through sales.
Yeah.
WTF. That's weird.
That is weird.
But it's funny because I did believe, and I still believe in that tech. But what's fascinating, the path that you and I went down and trying to find the right connection. I mean, dude, that's the journey.
Right.
Yeah, that's so funny.
We were. I mean, yeah, because we got connected with that. Then afterwards, and we tried to figure out how we sell this. Like, how do we sell this? How do we get people in front of this?
Well, yeah, because like you and I both, we both agree. We're trying to help folks get into cybersecurity because that's a passion. I mean, I love security. I love security because I feel like it's the edgier version of software development where people can be jerks. And a lot of the times jerks are right. I don't want to be a jerk. I like hanging out with jerks that are really smart and then apologizing for them, maybe. But like ultimately, security is just so fascinating. So yeah, I'm addicted. And you had me at I am Zach Hill. I don't know. I don't know.
I probably said something very
look at the face
sarcastic.
Though, your smile, dude. That's why people subscribe. It's the smile.
It's my beautiful smile.
Yeah, and the beard, the way the beard shapes here, Yeah.
My beard's got. I'm adjusting stuff. I'm sorry. My beard's got nothing on Network Chuck, but Network Chuck doesn't have my beautiful luscious locks.
I think that's
right. My luscious locks down.
I mean, you can give me fuel, give me fire anytime, but I think you guys here in IT, I'm proud of you guys trying to get in this domain, and those that are succeeding, awesome for you. Don't give up. This is such a fun industry, and what's cool is all of us here are not going to not have a job because technology is it for now on. I mean, again, unless there's some sort of horrible war where we don't need tech anymore, this is it.
That's going to be the next war. The next war is going to be through cyber.
Well, it already is, man. It's happening now. We just don't really all talk about it. It's been happening since the 90s. Just you guys are aware. We can, share. But anyway, so, all right, IT, sales. So consider it. Google it. Don't have to. Yeah, because it's worth it. Hey, let's talk about the $100,000 a year. Average base salary, $65K a year. Base is what you get paid to have the job. Commission is when you get more for hitting or achieving the goals that have been put upon you. So that's why people in sales make a lot of money. When they're really good, they make really high commissions.
I feel like we just did like the typical like YouTuber thing where like we put in like our title and thumbnail, like here's how you make $100,000 a year, and then we wait till like a half hour into the stream before we tell you how. It's like you got to watch this whole thing. So I just want to apologize for if there was clickbait for that.
I mean, I didn't suggest it or do it. I just followed your lead, boss man. But we can. You know what I'll do is I can make a comment on the thread that said, "Hey, here's." But seriously, I mean, you guys can Google. You know how much money you can make in sales. But what's funny is how many of you have actually ever Googled an IT sales job? Probably not a lot of you.
Probably
and
not.
try it out.
I know, like, when I was talking with the company about working pre-sales for them, being a pre-sales
Yeah.
engineer, I think the salary for that was like $90,000 a year.
Yeah, and pre-sales, you
That's
probably
salary.
that's
That's
right.
salary.
Yeah, and then the bonus is like or commission on top is nice. So now I would
That's
say
crazy. That's a lot of money.
it is a lot of money.
But for pre-sales, again, you do have to have technical knowledge.
Right.
So
You can definitely work your way up.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you find a tech you love. I mean, that's something else here. There's so many businesses inventing new software, inventing new solutions. Startups need people to sell all the time. I mean, there's so many options you have, guys.
Yeah, no, for sure. I would actually love to do pre-sales. I think that would be a lot of fun.
You're natural at it, and I think part of your channel you've tried, it's kind of shift that way because ultimately you want to help people.
Yeah, I always want to help people. That's the mission. That's my goal in life.
That's my mission too, and I'm a sales guy. WTF, man! I it still makes me laugh when I'm getting over it though.
It's funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
All right, you got a couple minutes still or no?
I'm solid, bro.
All right, questions. Ask
Sweet.
us anything. What is it? AUA.
I will not give you my social security number. I do know that is not a question you should answer.
Mother's maiden name, last four social,
No.
birth date.
My mother's maiden name is Hill.
Is it really? Because that would be funny.
No, it's not. It's not.
Right.
It's not.
That would be funny. All the Hills from my family are from Georgia. So,
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, the Hills are from the hills in Georgia? You didn't take me. You strike me as a country boy.
I'm not a country boy.
I know you're not.
I don't like the country.
What's funny though is you live in the country. That's what makes me
I
laugh.
do. I have cornfields everywhere. Everywhere I look, there's freaking corn.
And you're doing a YouTube channel from cornfields.
I know. It's really funny. It's so weird.
And I still love it. Was it when you said you're walking around town, and a dude's like, "Hey, I watched your channel."
Oh yeah, it was like 3 weeks ago now. I was actually walking next to the river because we have like a big river that goes through our town. It goes through a lot of towns. So, but anyway, I was next to the river with one of my kids, and this he just shouts out to me, "Hey man, I watch your YouTube channel."
So
I'm
good.
like, "Hey, that's cool." Like, what? What just happened here?
This is funny because like you live in this fantasy land, right? Not connected, but what's crazy is how connected we are now. It's beautiful, man.
It is.
Well, and the fact you and I stay connected is the internet. I've seen you in person twice.
I know. It's crazy.
Twice. One in Vegas and one in Florida. I think
it's
Orlando.
Yeah, it's Orlando.
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon B says, "Is part-time sales a real job?"
I would say, yeah. I can say I've worked with people in part-time capacities. There's also some concepts of 100% commission to where they're not going to pay you a base salary, but if you're in a position where you can work part-time or sort of, and you sell something, you get higher commission rates. I definitely know plenty of folks that do part-time. We actually have a consultant working with us now who's helping us get into a new market. So yeah, absolutely. Part-time sales is all over the place.
Yes. Yeah. So could I do part-time sales while still working my current IT job? So yeah.
I don't see why not. I mean, you got to find the right arrangement, but I mean, gosh, with the freaking internet, there's so much option.
Yeah. Kev H says, "Is company loyalty still a thing? Can you move up in IT in the same company?" That's a little bit like off topic, kind of, but
Ooh,
yes and no.
I like that. I like that question though. Company loyalty. Is it still a thing? I mean, where I've worked the past few years, loyalty to the company is not as important as loyalty to the problems that they're solving and kind of helping to support the vision. Because communication is so fast now. So that's an interesting question. I would say yes and no, but in a different way. I don't think it's like back in the day when my dad worked here for 40 years. I don't think it's like that anymore. But I do think when I've been somewhere for 5+ years and I'm in a sales role, that communicates very clearly to someone on the other end that, oh, that dude's been there that long. He must be successful and probably enjoying his work and probably believes in what they're selling. So, yeah, I think, there is still loyalty, but not blind loyalty.
Yeah, exactly. There's that. And then there's just the fact that, like, is that company even going to give you that opportunity? Like, what opportunities does the company give to you? because at some point, like, you have to throw loyalty out the window when your company's not investing back in you. When you could be going other places who do invest in you, who want to see you do better, who will, who gives you raises or gives you promotions, who sends you to trainings, who sends you to conferences, right? Like, to a certain extent, like, loyalty only goes so far. Like, if that company's not going to be loyal to you and helping you grow, well, that's time to say, get out of the way.
That's right.
I'm moving on. And
that's
the way that it is.
That's modern emotional intelligence and working in business, right?
Because it goes with like what you said, like your dad, right? Your dad works at a company for 40 years. They're loyal
give him a
to
gold
the
watch.
And every day your dad comes home and he's like, I freaking hate this job, right? Like, and they complain about everything.
Okay, so that's a good point, because you and I in IT, are allowed to love our jobs. Do I have days when I hate my job? No, but the loyalty, I love my work, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. I love every second of it. I mean, now my job's a little bit different where, like, I just love it because,
You like talking because you like people. I mean, you like talking to a pane of glass.
I have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So.
Yeah, you do, man. And the fact that your wife's supportive, we should give her a shout-out, man, because dang.
Love you, Courtney. You're the best. Thanks for supporting me.
But, that was not good
working
sales.
in IT, like, it's enjoyable, man. I freaking loved it. I really did. Camilo Vasquez asks you, though, have you failed in selling IT? Do you have any advice?
Absolutely. Okay, that's something else too, folks. Failure is part of life, especially in sales. That's one thing I did learn, is for people to say no, that's going to happen more often than they say yes. But you eventually get to the point where you recognize it's not about you. It's about what the solution you're offering. And if they say no, that's actually helpful, because then you're not going to waste their or your time. So yeah, absolutely. Have I worked on long deals that have gone south? Yes. Did I have anything to do with it? Probably not. It's just the nature of it. It's like writing good software or bad software. Yeah. Failure is part of success.
Yeah. You just have to, I guess, to be like somewhat blunt, like, you just have to kind of suck it up and move on.
Yeah, and I think that's where you and I...
It's a learning process, right? Like, when you hear no, like, it's going to... Like, the first few times you hear no, you're like... like,
oh, no, they don't like me.
Yeah, right. Like, that's going to be your immediate thought. And while, honestly, like, that could be the case sometimes. People just aren't going to like you.
Oh, yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Right, whatever.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like, you're just going to hear no, and you got to deal with it. Like, you have to learn from it. You're going to hear no all throughout your life, all the time. Just
Sorry. No, it's not easy, but yes, you get through it.
Recommended search for IT sales from
see, I was thinking about that. I mean, you guys that got, like, I don't know, Security Plus. I think a Security Plus, going into find a security firm that has some pre-sales, I could see something like that marrying up really well, but I don't really know a proper answer. I think showing that you have competency and interest in a domain would help. But yeah, I don't really have a good answer, but I can't imagine it hurts you. Any thoughts there, Zachary?
Depends on what you're selling.
Yeah.
It's always going to depend on what you're selling. It really, I think it just boils down to that. Obviously, like, even, so I have to take this back to a fundamental level, right? Like, if you want to be, like, I feel like if you want to be a good tech salesperson, like, you should have some fundamental knowledge of how technology works, because it's going to help you sell your product, right? So getting something even like the CompTIA ITF Plus, which is like IT fundamentals, yeah, that could be helpful for you, but something even more so like the CompTIA A Plus, where it just really helps lay down and drill in all these different fundamentals of technology, like, that type of stuff can be helpful for you. Like, you're gonna, just by going through that type of material and content and getting a certification, you're just gonna have a better knowledge of, many of the acronyms that are being used and how different technologies talk to each other.
Well, and the vernacular, right? Like the vernacular of the domain is essential. And something else, any sales role you're in, that's one thing cool about sales, training is almost always mandatory, because someone's got to get you up to speed of what is the value proposition. Like, why would anyone want to buy this? What problems does it solve? From a pre-sales sales, you're going to have to get training from the manufacturer. And a lot of these jobs and pre-sales roles, you've actually got to be certified to actually help sell it. So there's a lot of insistence that you understand the product, because what a manufacturer doesn't want is you and I misrepresenting their product, because that is a risk too that I didn't mention about. If you think about this, a company like Cisco having you out there selling their tech, they want to make sure you're going to represent them properly and accurately. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Agreed. Michael Panchu says, I've worked sales before, but I was selling gym memberships. Would this count as a valuable transferable experience?
1,000%, because you're that no button that makes you want to cry. You probably cry less now. Congratulations.
Right.
Especially with gym memberships. Dang, that's hardcore, bro. It's hardcore.
Greg Fry says, should I simply be searching IT sales on places like Indeed to find these positions?
To me, find a tech that you want, that you're interested in, that you would be interested in maybe selling, and go there and go look for sales roles around that. Because, I mean, yeah, you could do IT sales, but there's just so much. When we say IT, that encompasses like almost every bit of technology on the planet, minus a few.
So you could look up like sales engineer, or like we said, pre-sales engineer before. Those are more geared towards IT, but in general, like when you see job postings for sales, it's simply just going to be put sales. Like it's not that they're necessarily going to define it as IT sales, because at the end of the day, like the people who are posting these jobs and stuff, it's just sales, right? Like,
well, yeah, if it's a software company and they say sales, you would be selling software.
Yeah. So it's going to be based on those job descriptions and what you're actually selling, what those companies are selling.
Cool. People are looking, Zach. People are listening. Thank you. Because that's what's kind of fun about what your mission here is, just helping to connect people to jobs in an industry that you and I both adore. It's super awesome.
There's so much opportunity for people in IT, and I don't think people are aware of all the different avenues that IT consists of. You know, like it's such a vast world, and it just keeps growing, and you just keep getting like all these additions added to the field. Like all these additional roles start getting put into play, like as technology evolves and grows, right? So the point of this is just like, you guys have these possibilities, and if you wanted to start working IT sales, you can absolutely do that. And if you want to transition from IT sales to becoming a system administrator, well, yeah, you could do that too. And vice versa. Say you start down the path of getting certified, and you go through and get all your certs, and then you start working at the help desk, and you transition to becoming a sysadmin or a network engineer. And you're like, well, I don't really want to do this anymore. I might actually.
That's right.
Work
and
sales.
That's your journey. That's your journey that you get to help shape, like you, Zach. I mean, you didn't know you're going to be on YouTube, but you just went down a path and started stepping.
Yeah, and it's funny, like the people that you meet, like, working in this industry, and you find like you work with salesmen and you work with pre-sales people, and maybe one of those people that you end up working with, like they just like, I'm just gonna say, like, they rub you the right way, right? Because like you get encouraged by them, and you get intrigued by what they're doing, and that's where I could say, like, you came into play. Like, I never I could care less about sales. I thought the same thing you did, where like salesmen are scumbags. Like, you're just trying to make money off me. You don't care. You're cold call. Like, no, it's like, it's not until getting introduced to the right type of people and making those connections that you start to see an overall grand scheme of how things are being done, and who good people are. And when you find,
they're everywhere.
Yeah, when you find good people who are working in this field, like, those are the people like you really thrive from.
Yeah.
Like, you gain a lot of knowledge from them, and that's where you have to sit back and listen.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this
before,
though.
Like, keep stepping forward. When you hear no, say, all right, cool, understood. Move on.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, you do inspire me, brother.
You inspire me, brother. Here's the last question, and then we're done. Sorry. Richard Field says, so I'm interested in getting into cybersecurity sales or pre-sales, but it is likely I can match my six-figure income out of the gate, or am I likely to have to take a pay cut to begin with?
I mean, we talked about,
I brought up my personal experience.
Yeah, but I think in that case, no. I mean, I think when you look at a lot of these salaries, that starting salaries online around this domain, you're looking at easily hitting that 100K mark pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'd agree. Cool. Thank you, man. This was
Cool,
awesome.
man.
I'm glad
Likewise.
my power didn't go out. Yay!
Hey!
Although my camera wasn't working, it's because the battery died on it.
So your part of your power didn't.
Part of my we did have a little bit of a power failure.
I mean, that's okay. I mean, you adapt. That's what you do in IT. Career questions.
Always.
All right.
Always.
Well, thanks
All
for
right,
having me, brother.
Thank you for being here, and thank you everybody in the chat for being here as well. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming here and hanging out with us and talking about IT sales. I hope we were able to help you guys, and have a wonderful day.
Peace. Thanks, guys.